You know, we love to go deep on really inspiring stories of people building amazing things. And this time, we're going to be looking at Tony Fadell's Build, an unorthodox guide to making things worth making.
It's a fascinating book, isn't it?
It is, and you've pulled out some fascinating excerpts for us to explore.
Yeah, and I think, there's a lot to unpack from his journey, right? I mean, we're talking about the guy who helped create the iPod and Nest.
Yeah, and even before that, some really early days.
Oh, yeah, like going way back.
Yeah, so I'm eager to kind of see what we can uncover from his journey, from those early kind of entrepreneurial days to leading teams at, places like General Magic, Apple, and then, of course, Nest.
There's a real depth to his story that goes beyond just the technology itself.
Right.
He really emphasizes the human side of innovation.
Yeah.
The teams, the leadership, and this kind of constant drive to make something exceptional. I think it's really a treasure trove of insights, not just for those in tech, but anyone who's ever wanted to make something, something that really matters.
Let's jump right in. I mean, it's not every day you learn that the guy behind the iPod started out selling eggs door to door.
Right. Like, talk about humble beginnings.
It's pretty amazing. And what I find particularly interesting is he co-founded this company when he was just 20 years old.
Yeah.
To build a faster processor for Apple. And here's the kicker.
Yeah.
He hadn't formally studied processor design yet.
Wow.
That's some serious ambition.
I mean, think about the context here, right? This wasn't just tweaking an app.
Right.
This was pushing the boundaries of hardware in the early 90s.
Yeah.
And they managed to create chips that ran 8 times faster than what was out there.
That's wild.
It's like going from dial-up to broadband in the early internet days.
Yeah.
It really required a deep understanding of how to just push the limits of silicon and software.
Yeah.
And it just speaks volumes about, his drive to just learn and take risks.
I think it's that willingness to just dive into the deep end and figure things out as you go, that's really a recurring theme in his story.
Absolutely.
And that kind of leads us to his time at General Magic, which was a company that in so many ways was ahead of its time.
General Magic was like this incredible hotbed of talent.
Yeah.
They were working on what we would now recognize as like an early smartphone or a precursor to it.
Yeah.
They had the vision, the team, the technology.
Yeah.
But ultimately, the company failed.
Right.
And this is what Fadell refers to as the General Magic problem.
This is where things get really thought-provoking.
Yeah.
Because they created groundbreaking tech, but the world wasn't quite ready for it.
Precisely. And the General Magic problem highlights, the danger of being too far ahead of the market.
Right.
You can have this fantastic product, but if people don't see the need for it, if it doesn't solve a problem that they're actively, experiencing, it's going to struggle. So for you as a builder, it really emphasizes the importance of understanding not just the innovation itself,
right,
but also the timing and the market's readiness for that solution.
It's a reminder that building something truly groundbreaking isn't just about the what.
Yeah.
It's also about the when.
It's about the when.
And Fadell then goes on to champion, taking risks early in your career.
Yes.
Emphasizing that, your 20s are a time for experimentation.
Yeah.
Even if it means things go up in flames.
And what's refreshing is that he doesn't shy away from the importance of failure.
Right.
It's not about simply finding your passion.
Yeah.
It's about being brave enough to see your dreams go wrong.
Yeah.
And having that resilience to learn from the ashes.
Yeah.
That's a powerful message, I think, especially in a culture that often emphasizes success above all else.
Yeah.
You need to be able to fail fast and learn from those mistakes.
Absolutely.
And then he enters the world of Apple.
He does, yeah.
Initially aiming for a buyout of his company, Fuse. Yeah.
But instead ends up leading the iPod project.
Right. And, well, we all know how that revolutionized the music industry and transformed Apple.
It's an incredible story, and the iPod's journey is a prime example of how even iconic products go through multiple iterations.
Right.
And it wasn't all smooth sailing.
Right.
In fact, Fadell recounts how Steve Jobs initially resisted making the iPod compatible with PCs.
Wow.
A decision that could have severely limited its reach.
I mean, imagine a world where the iPod remains solely tied to Apple products.
Right. It's mind-boggling to think how different things might have been.
Yeah.
And this highlights that crucial balance between having a strong vision and being open to adapting based on data and market feedback.
Yeah.
Sometimes even the most brilliant minds need to be willing to shift course.
Right.
And I think this raises a fascinating question for us. How do we, in our own work, balance that unwavering vision with the need for flexibility and adaptation.
Yeah.
Where do we draw the line? It's something to really ponder, especially for those of us who are passionate about our ideas, but also need to be responsive to the real-world needs and demands of the market.
Absolutely.
So then we come to Fadell's experience with Nest, the smart thermostat company he co-founded.
Yeah, a really interesting pivot.
Yeah, and this section of the book really dives into the nitty-gritty of building a business from the ground up.
It does, from securing funding and assembling a talented team to shaping company culture and navigating those complex waters of acquisitions and exits.
Yeah, there's so much to unpack there.
And one of the things that really struck me was his strong stance on company perks.
This might seem counterintuitive, especially in a world where companies are constantly trying to one-up each other with lavish benefits.
Right, but he actually argues that it's counterproductive.
Yeah.
He argues that, excessive perks can actually create a sense of entitlement.
Interesting.
And distract from what truly matters, the mission, the product, and the customer. So instead of, ping pong tables and gourmet meals, Fadell advocates for focusing on building a team that's united by a shared purpose. Driven by a desire to solve real problems and make a meaningful impact. Yeah. It's a thought-provoking perspective.
It definitely challenges the conventional wisdom about what motivates and retains top talent.
It does.
And it's clear that his approach to building isn't just about products.
It's not.
It's about building ourselves as well.
Absolutely.
He has this fascinating concept where he argues that humans are like products constantly evolving.
It's a brilliant analogy that really resonates with me.
Yeah.
He's encouraging us to approach personal growth and development with the same kind of iterative mindset that we apply to building products.
Right.
Just as we strive to improve and refine our creations, we should also be actively seeking ways to learn and adapt and evolve as individuals.
He even talks about finding your V2, which is a clever way of putting it.
It is a clever way of putting it.
But how do you go about actually achieving that kind of personal evolution?
Well, Fadell suggests a unique approach. He believes individuals should actually strive to gain experience in both startup and corporate environments.
That's interesting.
He sees each setting as offering distinct advantages.
Okay.
And, most people tend to gravitate towards one or the other.
Yeah, they do.
Why do you think he advocates for exposure to both?
I'm curious about that too, yeah.
Well, startups offer an incredible opportunity to learn rapidly.
Right.
You're thrown into the deep end, forced to wear multiple hats.
Right.
Make decisions with limited resources.
Yeah.
And witness the entire life cycle of a product or a company.
Right.
It's like a crash course in resourcefulness, adaptability, and problem solving.
So it's about gaining that deep understanding of how to build something from scratch.
Yeah.
Facing those challenges head on.
Yeah.
And developing that certain scrappiness that's often essential in the early stages of a venture.
Exactly. On the other hand, large companies offer exposure to established processes, specialized roles, and the complexities of managing systems at scale. You learn how to navigate bureaucracy, how to work within structured frameworks, and how to contribute to projects that involve a much larger team and a more intricate web of stakeholders.
It's a completely different set of skills and experiences.
It is.
But equally valuable.
Yeah.
Especially if you aspire to lead or build something substantial.
Right. So it's about cultivating this kind of well-rounded perspective,
Yeah.
understanding the strengths and limitations of each environment,
Yeah.
and developing a versatile skill set that can be applied to a wide range of challenges.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So it's about kind of experiencing both worlds.
Yeah.
And kind of understanding those strengths and limitations of each and how to apply that.
Precisely. Fadell believes that experiencing both worlds allows individuals to develop this more holistic view of the building process. From that initial spark of an idea to the challenges of scaling and sustaining growth.
Right.
So it's not just about starting something, but also how to grow it and make it last.
It makes sense.
It does.
But along that journey, you can't do it alone.
You can't.
So how does Fadell approach finding mentors and assembling a team?
Right.
He seems to place a lot of emphasis on surrounding yourself with the right people.
Mentorship is really crucial to Fadell's philosophy.
Yeah.
He stresses the importance of finding mentors who've been there, done that, those who can offer guidance based on their own hard-won experiences.
Right.
He even credits his own mentors, Bill Campbell and Steve Jobs, with playing a pivotal role in shaping his own leadership style and problem-solving approach.
That's huge, yeah.
Yeah, he really learned from the best.
And when it comes to building a team, he doesn't just talk about finding skilled individuals,
Now,
right?
it's more than that.
He emphasizes the importance of finding people who complement each other's strengths, those who can work together effectively, and whose values align with the company's mission.
It's about finding those people who can really work together as a cohesive unit.
Right.
Whose strengths complement each other and who share the same values and goals.
Right.
He even advocates for a specific hiring process he calls the 3 crown system.
Oh, wow. I'm intrigued.
It's a really interesting approach.
Yeah, tell me more about this 3 crown system.
Okay, so it involves multiple stages of interviews with different stakeholders to get a comprehensive understanding of the candidate.
Got it.
The first crown is the hiring manager,
Okay.
who assesses the candidate's technical skills and experience.
Makes sense.
The second crown involves peers and potential collaborators.
Okay.
They evaluate how well the candidate would fit within the team dynamics and contribute to the collaborative environment.
So it's about making sure that the candidate not only has the skills, but also meshes well with the team's culture and working style.
Yeah.
Okay. And finally, the third crown involves an executive or leader from another department,
Okay.
providing a broader perspective on how the candidate might contribute to the company as a whole.
So it's like a 360-degree evaluation designed to uncover not just their technical skills,
It is.
but also their soft skills, their potential for growth, and their alignment with the company's mission.
Precisely.
It's a really thoughtful approach.
And Fadell also shares some insights into his own interviewing style.
Okay.
You know, he goes beyond simply asking about the candidate's experience and qualifications.
Right.
He's also trying to understand their motivations, their curiosity.
He's looking for more than just someone who can do the job.
Yeah,
He wants people who are genuinely passionate about the work,
absolutely.
who are eager to learn and grow,
Yeah.
and who will contribute to the company's culture in a positive way.
He's looking for those people who are going to be a good fit for the long haul,
Yeah.
not just someone who's going to come in and do the bare minimum.
He also emphasizes the importance of a strong onboarding process
Okay.
to integrate new hires effectively.
Right.
One of the things he recommends is regular brown bag lunches with the CEO.
That's a fantastic way to foster a sense of connection between leadership and new team members.
Yeah, especially as a company grows.
It sends a strong message that everyone's voice matters regardless of their position.
It does. It creates a culture where people feel valued and heard
Right.
and connected to the bigger picture.
Yeah, and that's essential for maintaining morale and motivation as a company scales.
Absolutely.
Speaking of scaling,
Yes.
Fadell acknowledges that growth can introduce breakpoints for a company.
Right.
You can't
Yeah.
just keep doing things the same way as you expand.
You care.
So how does he suggest companies adapt to these challenges?
He points out that what works for a small, agile team might not be effective for a larger, more complex organization.
Right.
You know, those informal communication methods.
Yeah.
The quick huddles, the hallway conversations, they become less reliable as a company grows.
Yeah, things get lost in the shuffle.
You need more formalized processes and structured communication channels
Right.
to ensure that everyone stays informed and aligned.
It's like transitioning from a nimble speedboat to a larger, more structured vessel.
It is, yeah.
You need different systems and protocols to navigate effectively.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he emphasizes the importance of recognizing and addressing the anxieties that often accompany rapid growth.
Right.
You know, change can be unsettling.
It can.
And it's crucial for leaders to acknowledge those feelings, communicate transparently,
Right.
and provide support to those who might be struggling to adapt.
It's about bringing everyone along in the journey,
Yeah,
ensuring they feel valued, heard, and included in the process of growth.
absolutely.
He also advocates for reevaluating and adapting the company's organizational structure as it grows,
He does.
suggesting a shift from functional departments to product-focused teams.
So instead of having separate silos for engineering, marketing, and sales,
Right.
you create cross-functional teams that are dedicated to specific products or product lines.
That makes a lot of sense.
It does.
So you can kind of maintain some of that speed and agility of a startup, even as the company grows and becomes more complex.
Precisely. It allows for greater autonomy, faster decision-making, and a stronger focus on the needs of each product.
Right.
It's about creating smaller, more agile units within a larger organization,
Okay.
empowering teams to move quickly and respond effectively to market demands.
Right. It makes a lot of sense.
It does.
But he also stresses the importance of clear communication during these transitions.
Communication is key.
Right.
Yeah.
Ensuring that everyone understands the rationale behind the changes
Yeah.
and their role in the new structure.
Absolutely.
It's about bringing everyone along on that journey,
Yeah.
addressing any concerns they might have about the changes,
Yeah.
and fostering a sense of ownership and responsibility within each team.
He also offers some interesting insights into the role of meetings as a company scales.
Okay, meetings, yeah.
He acknowledges that meetings can easily become a burden,
They can, yeah.
consuming valuable time and hindering productivity.
Right.
But he also recognizes their importance for communication and collaboration.
Right, so it's about finding that balance.
It is, yeah.
Between staying connected and avoiding unnecessary or unproductive meetings.
He encourages leaders to be mindful of the time spent in meetings,
Right.
to have a clear purpose for each gathering,
Yeah.
and to regularly evaluate their effectiveness.
I like that.
He also suggests exploring alternative methods for sharing information and updates,
Okay.
like concise written reports or online collaboration tools,
Right, that makes sense.
to reduce the reliance on lengthy meetings.
So it's about leveraging technology and finding more efficient ways to keep everyone informed without overwhelming them with endless meetings.
It is, yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
But while he champions this data-driven approach to decision-making,
Yeah.
he also recognizes the importance of intuition and gut feelings. He points out that data is incredibly valuable,
Right.
for validating assumptions and informing decisions.
Yeah.
But there are times when you have to trust your instincts,
Right.
especially when faced with incomplete data
Right.
or situations that require quick judgment calls.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He encourages leaders to cultivate their intuition,
Okay.
to learn to recognize those subtle signals and patterns,
Yeah.
and to trust their gut when the data doesn't provide all the answers.
So it's not about abandoning data altogether,
It's not.
but rather recognizing that leadership involves more than just crunching numbers.
It does.
It's about integrating those analytical skills
Okay.
with experience, intuition,
Yeah.
and a deep understanding of the context.
He introduces this concept called design thinking,
Mm-hmm.
which he believes can be applied to problem solving and decision making far beyond the realm of product design.
Interesting.
It's about adopting this user-centric mindset,
Right.
focusing on truly understanding the needs and perspectives of those who are affected by the problem you're trying to solve.
So it's about taking a step back and asking, what problem are we trying to solve and for whom
Exactly.
before diving into potential solutions?
It's about challenging assumptions,
Yeah.
exploring creative possibilities,
Right.
and staying focused on that user experience.
Okay, so he's really emphasizing that user-centric approach.
He is.
And this design thinking approach isn't just limited to designers, right?
No, it's not.
He encourages everyone within a company to embrace these principles and to approach their work with this user-centric mindset.
It's about fostering a culture of innovation
Right.
and customer centricity throughout the organization.
He then shifts his focus to the crucial role of marketing in building a successful company.
Yeah, marketing is often seen as this kind of fluffy or superficial thing,
It is.
but Fadell argues that it's much more than that.
Oh.
He argues that marketing isn't about hype or trickery. It's about effectively communicating the value of a product or service to potential customers in a way that is authentic and transparent.
So he's stressing the importance of telling the truth,
He is.
but in a compelling and engaging way,
Right.
making sure that those marketing messages align with the actual value that the product or service delivers.
He introduces a framework he calls the messaging architecture and the messaging activation matrix.
What exactly do those terms mean?
Okay, so the messaging architecture defines the core message
Okay.
and the key value propositions of the product or service,
Okay.
providing a clear and concise articulation of what it is, what it does, and why it matters.
Makes sense.
The activation matrix then outlines how and where those messages will be delivered across various touch points,
Okay.
ensuring that the messaging is consistent
Right.
and tailored to the specific needs and interests of the target audience.
So it's a strategic approach to crafting and delivering a consistent narrative
It is.
that resonates with potential customers.
He also highlights the importance of tailoring messages to different stages of the customer journey,
Right.
recognizing that what appeals to someone who's just becoming aware of a product might differ from what resonates with someone who's ready to make a purchase.
Right. You have to kind of meet the customer where they are.
Exactly. It's about understanding the customer's mindset at each stage and tailoring the messaging accordingly.
He also emphasizes the need for close collaboration between marketing, product development, and sales
Yeah. You need to have everyone on the same page.
to ensure that the messaging aligns with the product's features, benefits, and target market.
It's about creating that unified front,
Right.
where everyone involved in bringing the product or service to market is reinforcing that same consistent and compelling message.
Makes sense.
And he also stresses the importance of involving legal counsel in the marketing process to make sure that all claims are accurate and compliant with regulations.
So it's about balancing that creativity with responsibility.
Yep.
Making sure those marketing efforts are both effective and ethical.
Fadell then moves on to the role of product management,
Okay.
a function he believes is often misunderstood or undervalued.
Interesting.
He argues that product managers play a critical role in defining and driving the development of products that meet both customer needs and business objectives.
They act as a bridge between the customer and the development team, right?
They do.
Making sure that the product being built actually addresses the problems that people are experiencing.
Yes.
And that it aligns with the company's overall strategy.
He describes product managers as the glue that holds together the various functions involved in product development, ensuring that everyone is working towards that shared vision.
So they really need a deep understanding of the market, the technology, and the customer's needs.
They do.
To effectively guide that product development process.
He also emphasizes the importance of product managers being able to communicate effectively.
Right.
Translating those customer needs into technical specifications and collaborating with engineers, designers, and marketers to bring those solutions to life.
It's a demanding role that requires a really unique blend of analytical skills, communication skills, and that passion for building great products.
It is, yeah.
Okay.
And Fadell then turns his attention to the often overlooked aspect of building an effective sales team.
Sales, okay.
He challenges those conventional sales cultures that prioritize individual commissions above all else. Arguing that, this focus on short-term sales targets and aggressive tactics can damage customer trust and harm the long-term health of the business.
So he's advocating for a sales culture that focuses on building long-term relationships with customers.
He is.
Understanding their needs and providing solutions that deliver genuine value.
So it's about shifting from this transactional approach to a more collaborative and consultative approach to sales, where the focus is on building partnerships that benefit both the customer and the company.
Okay, I like that approach.
He suggests a compensation model that rewards salespeople based on customer satisfaction and retention.
Interesting.
Rather than solely on the number of deals closed.
Okay.
Incentivizing them to prioritize customer success and build long-term relationships.
It's about aligning those incentives with the company's overall mission and values.
It is.
Making sure that those sales efforts are focused on delivering solutions that genuinely meet customer needs.
He acknowledges that this approach might not appeal to every salesperson. And that's okay.
Yeah.
He argues that a company's sales culture should attract those who are genuinely passionate about building relationships and delivering value, not just those who are primarily motivated by individual commissions.
So it's about finding the right people who are aligned with those values.
It is.
Who are in it for the long haul.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
He then shifts gears to offer some thought-provoking perspectives on the role of legal counsel in a growing company.
Lawyers, right?
Yeah, lawyers. Okay.
They're often perceived as risk-averse and prone to saying no.
Right.
But Fadell challenges this perception, arguing that it stems from the nature of their profession, which is to understand and mitigate legal risks.
So he's saying that they're just doing their job.
They are. They're trying to protect the company.
Right.
He emphasizes the importance of finding lawyers who can effectively balance those legal considerations with business objectives.
Okay.
Helping companies navigate complex regulations and make informed decisions that minimize risk without stifling innovation.
So it's about finding that legal counsel who are not just experts in the law, but who also understand the nuances of the business and can offer practical advice that supports the company's growth.
He encourages leaders to view their legal counsel as partners.
Partners rather than obstacles.
Rather than obstacles. Engaging them early in the decision-making process to explore potential solutions and find creative ways to achieve those business goals within a legal framework. It's about building that collaborative relationship where legal counsel is seen as a valuable resource and a strategic advisor.
He also stresses the importance of building a strong internal legal team, even for startups.
Okay.
Emphasizing that investing in legal expertise early on can prevent costly mistakes and legal battles down the road.
It's about being proactive rather than reactive.
Exactly.
Right. Making sure the company has the legal infrastructure in place to support its growth
Right.
and protect its interests.
He suggests that companies carefully consider their specific legal needs and prioritize hiring lawyers with expertise in areas that are critical to their business,
Okay.
such as intellectual property, contracts, or regulatory compliance.
So it's about building a legal team that can proactively address those legal challenges
Yeah.
and provide that strategic guidance that supports the company's growth and innovation.
Precisely.
He then takes a critical look at the culture of excessive perks. That has become prevalent in many tech companies.
It has.
He argues that lavishing employees with free food, massages, and other amenities can actually be counterproductive.
Yeah, it sounds nice in theory,
It does.
but he makes a compelling case against it.
So he's saying it can create a sense of entitlement.
It can
Okay.
distract employees from the company's core mission
Right.
and inflate those operating costs,
Yeah.
which can hinder the company's path to profitability.
So instead, he's suggesting companies focus on providing meaningful benefits like competitive salaries, comprehensive health insurance,
Right, the things that really matter.
generous parental leave,
Right.
rather than relying on perks to attract and retain talent.
He believes that employees are ultimately motivated by a sense of purpose, the opportunity to learn and grow,
Yeah.
and the feeling of making a meaningful contribution.
He's talking about those intrinsic motivators,
He is.
right? Not just those extrinsic rewards like perks to keep people happy.
He encourages companies to invest in creating a work environment that fosters these intrinsic motivators.
Right. So it's about creating that culture
Yeah.
of purpose and meaning.
And growth.
Right. Not just a place that offers those free snacks and ping pong tables.
He challenges that notion that lavish perks are essential for attracting top talent, arguing that the most talented individuals are drawn to companies that offer challenging work,
Right.
opportunities for growth,
Yeah.
and a culture that aligns with their values.
So it's about creating a work environment that inspires and motivates employees to do their best work,
Yes.
not just a place that offers free stuff.
Exactly.
Okay.
Fadell then delves into the challenges and responsibilities of being a CEO.
Oh, the CEO.
Yeah, the CEO,
Okay.
offering insights into those unique pressures and demands of leading a company.
Right.
He emphasizes the importance of a CEO being deeply passionate about the company's mission
Okay.
and being willing to make those difficult decisions that sometimes require balancing competing priorities.
So it's not just about having a vision.
Yeah.
It's about being able to make those tough calls when you need to.
He highlights the need for CEOs to be strong communicators,
Right.
capable of articulating a clear vision, host speaker.
And inspiring both employees and investors to support the company's goals.
It's about being able to paint a compelling picture of the future
Right.
and rally people around that shared vision.
He also stresses the importance of CEOs surrounding themselves with a strong team.
Absolutely. You can't do it all yourself.
Right. Delegating effectively.
Right. Trusting your team members to execute on that vision.
It's about recognizing that a CEO can't do everything themselves.
Right.
And that building that strong team is essential for success.
He also offers some candid advice on managing board relationships.
Okay, the board of directors.
Yeah, the board.
Okay.
Emphasizing the importance of finding board members who are experienced, supportive,
Right.
and willing to provide both guidance and constructive criticism.
So it's about building a strong working relationship with the board.
It is.
Keeping them informed and seeking their counsel on key decisions.
He acknowledges that board dynamics can be complex.
Oh, they can be.
And he encourages CEOs to be proactive in building strong relationships with their board members,
Right.
keeping them informed,
Wow.
and seeking their advice on those key decisions.
It's about recognizing that the board is a valuable resource
They are.
and that building that strong relationship with them can really contribute significantly to the company's success.
Absolutely.
Okay.
He also stresses the importance of CEOs maintaining their own personal well-being.
That's important.
It is, recognizing that the demands of leading a company can take a toll on their physical and mental health.
It's a tough job.
It is, yeah.
It's about recognizing that CEOs are human beings.
Right.
Not just machines.
Not just machines.
And that taking care of themselves is essential for their own well-being and the success of the company.
He encourages CEOs to prioritize self-care,
Right.
to delegate effectively,
Yeah.
and to seek support from mentors and advisors. to help them navigate the challenges of leadership.
It's about building that support system and recognizing that it's okay to ask for help.
Exactly. You don't have to do it all alone.
He then delves into the often complex world of acquisitions.
Acquisitions, yeah.
Sharing his experiences from both the acquiring and the acquired side.
He's seen it from both sides.
Yes, he's been there.
And he highlights the importance of careful due diligence.
Right.
Not just focusing on the financial aspects of a deal,
Right.
but also considering the cultural fit between the two companies.
That's important.
It is, he acknowledges that acquisitions can be disruptive and unsettling for employees.
They can.
And he encourages leaders to be transparent and communicative throughout the process.
Right, to really communicate clearly with employees what's happening.
Exactly, addressing those concerns and providing support to those who are affected by the changes.
It's about recognizing that acquisitions involve real people and that managing that human side of these transactions is just as important as the financial and strategic considerations.
He stresses the importance of aligning the goals and values of the two companies,
Right.
ensuring that the acquisition is a strategic fit that benefits both parties.
So it's about making sure the acquisition makes sense from a business perspective.
Yes.
And that the two companies can work together effectively to achieve those shared goals.
He also offers some candid insights into the challenges of integrating two companies with different cultures.
Right, because often those cultures can clash.
They can. You have different processes, different ways of working.
It can be really tricky.
It is, integrating two distinct organizations is a complex process.
It is.
That requires careful planning,
Yeah.
clear communication, and a sensitivity to those cultural differences.
So you have to be very mindful of those differences and how to bridge them.
He encourages leaders to approach integration thoughtfully,
Okay.
recognizing that it takes time and effort.
Yeah, it's not something that happens overnight.
It's not. It requires patience, empathy,
Right.
and a willingness to learn from each other.
And he emphasizes the importance of respecting the values and traditions of both companies.
Absolutely.
Finding ways to kind of leverage the strengths of each culture while minimizing those potential conflicts or clashes.
It's about creating a new shared culture
Right.
that embraces the best of both worlds.
Right. Recognizing that both companies have something valuable to contribute.
He then shares some personal reflections on his own decision to step down as CEO of Nest.
Interesting.
Acknowledging that there comes a time when it's appropriate for a leader to pass the baton to someone else.
It's about recognizing that leadership is not about clinging to power.
It's not.
But about doing what's best for the company and recognizing when it's time for a new leader to step in.
He recognizes that companies evolve, markets change, and leaders need to be self-aware enough to recognize when their skills and experiences are no longer the best fit for the company's current needs.
It's about having the humility to step aside and make space for someone who might be better suited to lead the company into the future.
He encourages leaders to view stepping down as a natural part of that leadership journey.
Right.
A chance to reflect on their accomplishments and to make space for new leadership to emerge.
It's not the end. It's just a transition.
It is.
To a new chapter.
And he stresses the importance of leaders supporting their successors, providing guidance and mentorship to ensure a smooth transition.
It's about recognizing that stepping down is not the end.
It's not.
But a transition to a new chapter.
He then reflects on his post-CEO journey, sharing his experiences with investing in and mentoring startups through his firm, Future Shape.
Interesting.
He describes his approach to investing as mentors with money.
Mentors with money.
Yeah.
I like that.
Emphasizing that he seeks to provide startups with more than just financial capital.
Right. It's about more than just the money.
It is. He aims to offer guidance, support, and access to his network of contacts.
That's huge.
It is, helping entrepreneurs navigate those challenges of building and scaling their businesses.
So it's about leveraging his experience and connections to help a new generation of entrepreneurs succeed.
And he highlights the importance of investors taking an active role in supporting the startups they invest in.
Right.
Recognizing that financial capital alone is often not enough to ensure success.
It's about being a true partner to those entrepreneurs.
It is.
Providing them with the resources, connections, and guidance they need to thrive.
And he concludes his book with a powerful message about the importance of continuous personal growth and development.
I love that, continuous learning.
He encourages readers to view themselves as products that are constantly evolving.
Right.
Embracing opportunities to learn, adapt, and improve throughout their lives.
Always be iterating.
Exactly. He argues that personal growth is an iterative process.
It is.
Much like product development,
Right.
requiring self-reflection, experimentation, and a willingness to embrace both successes and failures as learning opportunities.
So it's about adopting that growth mindset.
It is.
Recognizing that we are all works in progress.
Yes.
And that there is always room for improvement.
He encourages readers to be intentional about their personal growth,
Okay.
to seek out challenges, to step outside of their comfort zones, and to continually strive to become the best versions of themselves.
So it's about taking ownership of our own development.
It is.
And recognizing that personal growth is a lifelong journey.
Fadell's book is a testament to his belief in the power of human ingenuity and the importance of pursuing work that is both meaningful and impactful.
He challenges conventional thinking, shares those hard-earned lessons.
He does.
And offers practical guidance that can benefit anyone who aspires to build something great.
Yeah.
Whether it's a product, a company, or a life well lived.
Absolutely.
So we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive into Tony Fadell's Build.
We have.
Exploring his insights on innovation, leadership, and the pursuit of excellence.
It's a fascinating journey, and one of the things that really stand out for me is his unwavering belief in the power of ideas to shape the world. But he's not just talking about any ideas. He specifically emphasizes the ones that solve real problems.
Right.
He has this great phrase, the best ideas are painkillers, not vitamins.
That's a powerful distinction. What do you think he's getting at with that analogy?
He's highlighting the need to focus on ideas that address those real, tangible problems, those pain points that people are actively seeking solutions for.
Right, those needs that are really out there.
Exactly. So instead of creating products or services that offer just these incremental improvements or nice-to-have features, those vitamins, we should be focusing on those that alleviate real pain, those frustrations, inconveniences that people are eager to eliminate.
So it's about building things that people truly need.
Yes.
Not just things that might be interesting or cool.
Right.
But don't actually solve a real problem.
Exactly.
It's about identifying those unmet needs and crafting solutions that make a tangible difference in people's lives.
Precisely. And he also offers some really insightful perspectives on the process of nurturing and developing those ideas, which he refers to as chasing the idea.
Chasing the idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
He acknowledges that, great ideas rarely emerge fully formed. They require time, exploration, refinement to evolve into something truly compelling.
It's that process of discovery, right? Of following those threads of curiosity and allowing the idea to kind of take shape organically. It reminds me of how artists often talk about their work. They don't always have this clear vision from the outset.
Yeah.
It kind of emerges through that process of creation.
That's a great comparison. And just like an artist needs to be persistent and dedicated to their craft, Fadell emphasizes the importance of being relentless in pursuing those ideas that keep nagging at you, those problems that you can't seem to shake from your mind.
It's about having that unwavering belief in the potential of the idea, right?
Yes.
Even when faced with obstacles or setbacks.
Yes.
It's about being willing to iterate, to experiment, and to refine the idea until it becomes something worth bringing into the world.
Exactly. It's that resilience, that commitment to seeing the idea through that often separates those who simply have ideas from those who actually build things that matter. But he also reminds us that even the best ideas can fail if they're introduced at the wrong time. Timing is everything.
He's talking about the importance of understanding the market's readiness for a particular solution. Recognizing that innovation is often about more than just creating something new. It's also about introducing it at a time when the market is receptive to it.
He encourages us to pay attention to both the technological landscape and the cultural context to determine the right time to launch a new product or service. It's about recognizing that being first isn't always the key to success. Sometimes it's about being the best at the right time with a solution that truly resonates with the market's needs and desires.
That's a nuance that I think is often overlooked in the rush to be the first to market.
It is.
It's a reminder that innovation is not a race. It's about finding that sweet spot where the technology, the market, and the cultural context align.
He also makes a really important distinction between disruptive and evolutionary innovation.
Okay.
He argues that disruptive innovation is about creating entirely new markets or disrupting existing ones with a fundamentally different approach to solving a problem. Evolutionary innovation, on the other hand, focuses on refining existing solutions, making them better, faster, cheaper.
So disruptive innovation is about challenging the status quo, shaking things up, and creating something entirely new.
Right.
While evolutionary innovation is about working within that existing framework, optimizing and improving.
Precisely. And he encourages entrepreneurs to carefully consider which type of innovation is most appropriate for their particular idea and market context. He points out that disruptive innovation often requires greater risk-taking and a longer time horizon, while evolutionary innovation might be more suitable for markets where established players dominate.
It's a crucial consideration.
It is.
And it reminds us that there's no one-size-fits-all approach to innovation.
Right.
The best strategy depends on a multitude of factors. The nature of the problem you're solving, the competitive landscape, your own risk tolerance.
Absolutely. Fadell also offers some really valuable insights into the challenges of managing a growing team, particularly when transitioning from a small, tightly knit group to a larger, more structured organization.
Right, because those early days where you're just a handful of people working together,
Yeah.
you can be a lot more informal in your approach.
Right, exactly.
But as you grow, you need more structure, more process.
He acknowledges that this transition can be tricky. Those informal communication methods and decision-making processes that worked so well for smaller teams often become less effective as the company scales.
It's like those growing pains we experience as teenagers.
Yeah.
What worked before suddenly feels awkward and inadequate.
He encourages leaders to adapt their leadership style and communication methods to accommodate those changing needs of a growing team.
It's about evolving alongside the company, recognizing that leadership is not a static state. It's a dynamic process that requires adaptation and flexibility.
He highlights the importance of delegating effectively, empowering team members to take ownership of their work, and establishing clear communication channels to ensure that everyone is aligned and informed.
It's about letting go of that need to control every detail and trusting your team to execute on the vision.
It's a difficult transition for many leaders, but it's essential for creating a scalable and sustainable organization. And he also stresses the importance of maintaining a strong company culture, even as the team grows. He talks about the need to clearly articulate the company's values and create a work environment where everyone feels valued and connected to the mission.
Culture is often overlooked, especially in those early stages of a company, but it becomes increasingly important as you grow. It's that glue that holds everything together, that shared sense of purpose that unites and motivates the team.
And this brings us back to his fascinating concept of humans as products.
Right.
This idea of approaching personal growth and development with the same iterative mindset that we apply to building products.
That's a powerful analogy. And it encourages us to embrace this mindset of continuous improvement, to constantly seek ways to learn, grow, and adapt, not just in our work, but in our lives as well.
It's this relentless pursuit of growth, this willingness to embrace change and challenge ourselves, that ultimately leads to meaningful innovation and lasting impact.
So Tony Fadell's Build is more than just a guide to creating successful products or companies. It's a call to action for anyone who wants to make a difference in the world.
It's a reminder that we all have the potential to build things that matter, to solve problems, to create something new and valuable. It's about harnessing that human ingenuity, embracing those unconventional ideas, and having the courage and resilience to bring them to life.
And that journey often begins with recognizing a problem worth solving.
Right.
An unmet need, a pain point that begs for a solution. It's about looking beyond the obvious, challenging the status quo, and daring to build something truly exceptional. What stands out to you from this deep dive into Build?
For me, it's that emphasis on the human element of innovation. It's not just about the technology or the business strategy. It's about the people, the teams, the leadership, and that shared commitment to building something that truly makes a difference.
It's a powerful reminder that innovation is ultimately a human endeavor driven by passion, creativity, and a desire to make the world a better place. And one final thought for you to ponder. Fadell argues that we are all, in a sense, products that are constantly evolving.
We are.
So what's your V2? What aspect of yourself or your work are you ready to iterate on? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Until next time, keep building.